Okay, I am on. Go ahead and click yours.
It's not doing anything.
Really? Practice mode only. Share screen. One participant, being me. Okay, I sent you another.
I'm on screen.
You're on screen?
Join with video.
Ah, here we are.
Oh.
Excellent. Okay, it's recording now. That's cool. Let me just do the Facebook.
All right. Hang up on the phone.
There you go. Yeah, me too. Hanging up. I'm gonna go live on Facebook, and then we'll get started once I make sure that's on. Okay, here goes. Live on Facebook. Join. Okay. I have on my end. You know how to share screen. Have you ever done this before?
Yeah. Possibly.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Have you done a Zoom before?
Yes.
Okay. So if you have anything to share on the screen, go ahead. I have your
share screen. Yeah.
Yeah, I have your Pulitzer write-up on the screen.
All right.
So if you want me to pull it up, or if you want to pull it up, just let me know. There you go. Oh, perfect. Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm gonna
my actual screen for get the people on.
Okay, here we go. First I'm gonna click broadcast on my end here, and then I'm gonna click on go live.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, so that's on. So it's on. If you could remove your screen.
Oh.
Just go to your. So on top, there you go. Perfect. I think we got it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros. This is Abelardo de la Peña Jr., Director of Marketing and Communications with La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. It's your friendly neighborhood museum in downtown LA, right across from Olvera Street. Currently closed, but bringing to you, our loving audience, what we would normally do at La Plaza, have pláticas, conversations, presentations, performances, discussions. But today, our very special Cinco de Mayo guest, we have el señor Lalo Alcaraz. Do you need an introduction?
Sure, why not?
All right, here goes. Let me look for that introduction that I so eloquently written. Lalo Alcaraz is an award-winning visual media artist and television film writer based in Los Angeles, who's been chronicling the ascendancy of Latinos in the US for a quarter century. This Chicano artist is the creator of the syndicated daily comic strip La Cucaracha, as seen in the LA Times and other papers nationwide. A prolific political cartoonist. Lalo is winner of 6 Southern California Press Awards for Best Editorial Cartoon and was an editorial cartoonist for the LA Weekly from 92 to 2010. Bunch of other stuff, but we got Coco, cultural consulting producer and writer for Los Casagrandes for Nickelodeon. Born in San Diego to Mexican immigrant parents from Sinaloa, married to a public school teacher. They have 3 somewhat obedient children. That's what it says here. But most recently, Lalo Alcaraz, for irreverent and poignant cartoon commentary focused on local and national issues from a distinctly Latinx perspective, a finalist in the Pulitzer Prize for editorial cartooning. Let's hear for Lalo Alcaraz. And let's hear from Lalo Alcaraz.
Hello, everyone. Hey, 52 participants. That's double my last show, which I just had.
Already?
We just had a toast earlier, an hour ago at Nickelodeon on Zoom. No, on Blue Jeans is our thing. We had a toast. They were graciously had a toast for me for my Pulitzer nomination finalist deal. So I appreciate everyone that's here. Thank you for coming. I'll
Well,
take my mask off now. I'm going to throw it off.
Okay, well, it seems like, let's see, is it on live? Do we have you on, oh no, I gotta press this go live. My mistake. I did not press go live on Facebook, but we are on now. See all this, there's too many buttons here.
Hello, Facebook.
Yes. Let's see, did it add a title for your face? Say something about this live video. Welcome. Bienvenidos to the Cinco de Mayo. We were calling it the La Cucaracha Pulitzer Prize Pocho Hour of Power Chingadera featuring Lalo Alcaraz. But you came up with a pretty nifty title yourself.
Oh my God, I don't know. I don't remember now. It was the Lalo Alcaraz Murder Hornet Cinco de Mayo Taco Tuesday extravaganza. I don't know. It changes every 5 minutes.
But that's okay. We're here now. We're here live. And we are definitely on Zoom. We're having a little bit of difficulty on Facebook Live, but that's par for the course here at La Plaza Zoom headquarters. But we're going to go ahead and get started on this. Tell us about when you heard the news that you are a Pulitzer Prize finalist for editorial cartooning, and what does that mean?
Okay, well, every year for many, many years, I have applied. You, as a cartoonist, you're responsible for your own application to the Pulitzer Committee for editorial cartooning or whatever. Sometimes, you know, your employer, like a newspaper, is responsible. But as editorial cartoonists, we're kind of, you know, we can submit our own stuff. And I have, you know, been trying for years and years to get, I win LA Press Club cartooning awards whenever I apply, which is nice. Usually, I've only come in second one time, I think, and I have 6 of them. But I wanted to win national awards, which it's award season. There's the Pulitzers. There's the Herb Block Award, named after cartoonists at the Washington Post from the 50s and 60s. There is the RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Social Justice Award. I applied to that for years. And there's assorted other ones, plus the LA Press Club. I applied to that.
Did you apply for the Nobel Awards?
The Nobel Awards, I've not found the website for those.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know where they're at. Maybe they're at Trump.com. You know, recently, honestly, I've been frustrated. I felt like, you know, cartooning, it's a very, you know, it's a very male-oriented profession. It's a very white male-oriented profession. And it's a dying profession, I hate to say, because newspapers are dying. And so we're shifting over to, you know, the internet. I've been doing that for a few years. So it's not, you know, it's not the golden age of editorial cartooning or anything. So, but I said I will not be denied, you know, and I want a national award. I think my work's good enough. I think it makes a difference in people's lives. I think it makes a splash. And, you know, I work hard at it. So I know I have like 5 other jobs, you know. I'm working at Nickelodeon. I work at other shows that I'm trying to develop. And I do my comic strip, La Cucaracha, which is the daily comic strip, which is a separate thing from editorial cartooning.
Oh, it is?
So,
okay.
Yeah. And so I said, I am on the hunt to win a national award. I think my work is good enough, and why not? And, you know, there haven't been too many people of color that have won the Pulitzer for editorial cartooning. There's a guy who's a colleague and friend of mine, Michael Ramirez. You might remember him from the LA Times. He was the editorial cartoonist for that.
Sure.
Very conservative, very right-wing, half Japanese, half Mexican, lives in Orange County. Nice guy. Don't talk politics with him. And he's won a couple times, but that was it. I mean, hardly any, I think only 1 or 2 women have won. and there are white women, and you know, and Michael Ramirez, and that's all I can think of, you know.
Well, here we have our chat going on. We have a Q&A going on
Sure.
Zoom. We also have a on Facebook Live. People could comment or ask questions. But right here, from Richard Rojas says, by the way, the very first Chicano artist Pulitzer Prize finalist in 98 years of the prestigious award. So cool.
That's pretty crazy. And, you know, and I was just talking about my friend Michael, who would never say he's Chicano. He's not Chicano. He's, you know, his dad was you know, he was an intelligence agent in Japan after World War II. And, you know, the guy, and Michael told me, my dad was a Chicano, you know, but he was not, you know, Michael's not. And so I'll take it, you know, I'll be, I want to be the one that claims the Pulitzer for cartooning. Anyway, so last year's winner was my friend Darren Bell. He broke the color line there. He was the first African American to win in the 98 years, I guess. And I had a good heart to heart with him, and I said, dude, I feel like, you know, they just kind of keep passing it along to white guy, you know, until you broke the line here. And he said, yeah, you know, it's, you know, it's, there's a lot of factors to it. I won't say what he's told me, but he had a pretty good theory as to why. I think we all know the theory.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Well, I told him, as a cartoonist, especially now, I've been drawing about immigration issues and babies locked up at the border issues and all these things, and for years. And when a white cartoonist does that, they are like applauded, you know. They're like, you are thinking outside the box, man. You're amazing for even thinking that. And then I'm like over here going like, I did that cartoon 10 years ago. I did that one 20 years ago. I did that one the other day. And it just feels frustrating to an artist that, you know, I take my work seriously. I don't plagiarize. I like try to come up with original ideas. If I see a similar idea, I'll try to bend mine so it's not the same. And, you know, I think about this work that I do. So and I think that my work is like as good as anybody else's. And so I said, I'm on the hunt. I'm going to win a Pulitzer, and or a national award. Nothing else came in but the finalist designation for Pulitzer this year. So I was like, all right, I got close. There's next year.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
Well, Lalo, could you share, if you have it there, could you share what the Pulitzer, besides that,
am I not allowed to do that? Because I'm doing it anyway.
Go right ahead. This is a party day. I mean, this is Lalo Alcaraz, day after Pulitzer Prize finalist for editorial cartoon. Plus, it's Cinco de Mayo.
That's right. I forgot. Oh my God.
You know what?
Day after May the 4th.
The day after May the 4th be with you.
Can I say I'm having some ilegal mezcal from my friends at Ilegal Mezcal. And I'm having some reposado. Please support them. They're the guys that came out with the wait, I had to put this in front of my
There you go.
the Donald Eres un pendejo sticker and shirt.
Okay.
So anyway, but I forgot what we were saying.
I don't know. We were talking about no. If you have your I have it here. The Pulitzers on their website, they talk about you and you being the finalist. Plus, they show what you submitted to them. Yeah. So we have a chance to take a look at the cartoons which you submitted to them, which was the reasoning behind this finalist designation for your for your cartooning. Could you share
Sure.
that with us and talk a
You know
little bit
what?
about it?
Can I just want to wrap up on Richard Rojas' question
Sure, go ahead.
about being the very first Chicano artist. Yes, I'm a Chicano artist. I'm proud. And it's not just about being Mexican, but it's about being Chicano and knowing that, you know, your work should be socially responsible and you do it for purpose. And you don't just do it for Chicanos, but you do it, you know, for everyone, but you do it with a Chicano mindset. Now, do you remember when the first, I don't know, I mean, you know, I'm older, I watch Saturday Night Live, my kids love it. And when the first Latina who was Mexican American, and she's from Whittier, came out on Saturday Night Live, and I'm blanking out because I'm too buzzed.
Villaseñor, I think is her
Yeah,
last name.
Melissa Villaseñor, who I know
Right.
through my friend Al Madrigal, the comedian. You know, that like everybody made a big deal, which is rightly so, that she was the first Latina to be on Saturday Night Live. And then I saw a few weeks later, a woman who said, well, you know, I actually was the first Latina on Saturday Night Live because you know, I'm half Latina and, you know, I appeared in 2010 for a season. And the point is, she never said she was Latina. She passed for anything but Latina.
Yeah.
So you were disqualified, you know, for claiming that first status. Because here, you know, someone like Melissa, who she's not a hardcore political activist or anything, but she's openly Mexican American, and she deserves the first credit, you know, for being that person. So it's up to you. You know, you have to claim it, and then you can, you know, bask if there's any glory later.
No, it's like Mama says, cuando le conviene. You know, when it's convenient, of course they'll claim, like this chick who wrote American Dirt. Cuando le conviene, okay, soy Latina, you know, but otherwise, no, okay.
Yeah.
But you are Chicano, I am Chicano, you are Lalo, and I have a question here. Are you both named Lalo? And yes, I am Lalo.
I was glad you hit that because I was concerned you were going to admit that.
All right. So can you show us the Pulitzer page? Go through a couple of the tunes and talk a little bit about it.
Okay, you want me to like get the link, go to the thing?
Yeah, I think I have it loaded if you want me to. I could do it, and then you just tell me when to click. How's that?
No, I want now you me alborotaste, man.
Okay, there you go.
Now I want to do it myself, and let's see if I can do it.
Yeah,
but
share
why
screen.
don't we talk? Hold on. There it is. I got it kind of saved.
Okay.
I got a whole tab. Now let me see. Can I possibly
down below it should say share screen.
Share. Now let me get back to Zoom. Share screen. Okay, we'll get you. Holy moly, that's a terrible vision. That's you. There it is.
All right.
There you go. Can you see that?
Yes.
All right. All right. So here is I'm
gonna go away here.
I never thought you could see my name on one of these things, but there it is. Finalist, Lalo Alcaraz. Freelancer, it's weird. I mean, I'm syndicated cartoonist. They should have put that instead of freelancer. I'm confused about that, but that's all right. So here's, you submit for the Pulitzers a packet of up to 15 pieces, right, that you did in the previous calendar year. So unfortunately, I thought, damn, okay, I mean, this piece I did about Roger Stone, one of the Trump people that he's going to pardon, was the first one just because it was done in January 29th. And it's just, you know, you kind of line them up by date. So there it is, first impact. It's a picture of Roger Stone, who famously has a tattoo of Nixon on his back because he's a political dirty trickster, and has that tattoo. And then I added that he has a tattoo of Trump, a Trump stamp,
Yeah, that's right. But it only goes so far. Why'd you cut
It
the
only,
frame?
I drew it and it goes lower, but I wisely edited that right there. So sometimes you got to subtract
Yeah.
from art pieces. So now, oh, what I'm proud of that one is that it looks like a photograph. The way
It's a really good. It's a really good illustration cartoon. Really nice.
I draw my stuff usually on Procreate on the iPad. So which is this. Oh, you can't see it right now on the screen. Whatever. So I'll show you that. I'll draw something for you guys later.
Okay.
Then February 25th, this cartoon came out, which was an Oscar statuette in the style and to resemble Yalitza Aparicio, the first indigenous actress from Mexico to win an Oscar nomination for Roma. And I thought she was awesome in it. So I redrew the Oscar statuette in indigenous kind of Oaxacan pattern with the traditional dress, etc. And I thought that was an important, my focus was trying to be, you know, I have to do like mainstream cartoons, and then I have to do some raza cartoons, you know. So then I have, you know, of course, the big news story last year was the impeachment and all that, the Mueller report, all that stuff. So there I have William Barr as Banksy from Barzy. And we remember that the Mueller report, I'm sorry, we remember the Banksy piece where, you know, he auctioned it. It was on the wall, and then it shredded the piece inside, which...
Right. As soon as the winning bid was announced, 18 million something, and then, yep.
Which, you know what? I admire Banksy, but, you know, gringo art, man, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy the whole concept. So, but I, you know, as a cartoonist, you take things that are in the news and you know, turn them into cartoons so people have a reference point. Here's another one. I thought this was one of my strongest cartoons of the year. U.S. Border Patrol Youth Detention Facility, and it's in the shape of an old school coffin, and it's a cartoon about obviously the deaths at the border. As a cartoonist, I try to do as little labeling as I have to. And I think this is a pretty decent example of that. You use images to recall, you know, things that are that everyone can relate to. So this one is the Wheel of Fortune with Bob Mueller, and this is when people were saying, why can't the Democrats impeach Trump? And here's a Democratic donkey on Wheel of Fortune, and Trump is holding up an M for Mueller report, and the Democratic donkey's like, Bob, can I buy a vowel? You know, and the solution is obviously up there on the screen. So my friend Matt Worker, who's the editor for Politico, runs my cartoons once in a great while, and he loved this one, so I knew I got to put that in. You know, it's a strong one. And this one is How Tariffs Work, and it's, you know, my cartoons are usually like one strong image, yeah, you know, I'm done. But sometimes, like, the new trend is kind of like multi-panel. So I wanted to do at least one. So I had this idea about how do tariffs work. And panel one is a product is made in Mexico and sold to USA. It's a MAGA hat. Trump, panel two, Trump puts a tariff on it, 5%. Number three, the cost goes up on the product and the US jacks it up for 5%. And panel four, the American, the MAGA person says too pricey because it went up 5%. And then the number five, product sales drop, factories close in Mexico. And then number six, migrants come to the US for work. And then he goes up to the MAGA guy. He goes, would you like to buy a stupid hat? You know, for $5.
Oh my God.
So then this one's inspired by Tiananmen Square.
Yes.
We, as cartoonists, we use these like images that, over and over again, and it's fine. And I use instead of just a Chinese citizen, I put a little baby in a diaper, in a cage, in front of Trump's. The date is important on this one because it is the 4th of July parade. Remember when Trump was like, I want to have a military parade like my buddy Putin, right? And people are like, yeah, shut the hell up, right? So I drew that in his honor. And then this one is about, families being threatened by ICE, but really the fear of persecution is bigger than even ICE.
Yeah, pretty accurate portrayal of Stephen Miller there.
Yeah, that's right. Stephen Miller on steroids, which is not that far off. But I actually was looking. I actually had that poster. I had that poster by my desk, and I was looking at that family. It's making me sad looking at the family.
Yeah.
Did I draw that? That's really scary.
That armband that you're using, like you have the T, that symbol, you had it in the other one. Where'd that come from? Is that something you made up, or?
Oh yeah, you know what, that was a thing that cartoonists started doing, like a kind of a Nazi armband thing, except instead of a swastika, it was a T, and you can see it here as the banner in the Tiananmen Square type, 4th of July parade cartoon. And it's a thing cartoonists just organically started doing. So we just, we're okay with copying each other. It's fine. It becomes a shared, symbol for each other. So here's one where July 16th, it's the, I don't know, this one just came to my head because somebody said, I think maybe on Twitter, somebody said, I want to call Child Protective Services on Trump, for the abuse of children at the border. And I thought, I want to do that drawing. So I have Trump as the, if you see on the arm there, it's got like the SS
Yes,
lightning bolts tattooed
on the
on
right hand arm, and then pants has the T instead of the cross.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's got a big one hanging. So I wanted to draw them as the parents who are abusing these brown children in a little kind of a weird cage walker thing.
Yeah.
So and then this one was inspired by the I mean, God, this just happened in August of 2019, and it was the big shooting in El Paso, instigated by Trump, of a deranged shooter who drove down from Dallas, I think, to go find Mexicans at the most Mexican place he could find on the border, which was a Walmart. But El Paso is almost 98% Mexican.
Easy, yes.
And it was scary because I went down there after the shooting, 1 month after, to go support a concert that my activist friends were putting on, and to support the victims. And you drive around El Paso and you think, like, this guy could have stopped anywhere, but he chose a Walmart because he knew that lots of raza would be shopping there.
Yeah. Saturday morning, school, right before school was starting.
Yeah, this is full-on terrorism enabled by the president of the United States. And I was at a Target. I think that's why I got inspired to do this cartoon. I was at a Target, 2 miles from that Walmart, because that Walmart's closed. I had to go to a Target, and it was like I saw 2 African Americans there. They were a couple. They were a military couple,
Mm-hmm.
because the El Paso has a big army base, right?
Oh yeah,
Fort Bliss, and everyone else was Mexican in that shop. At that store, that shooter could have come into that Target and had the same effect of shooting a bunch of brown people, and possibly, I think it would have spared the two black people, he was racist. So
No.
I don't know. It was a real big experience. I went to the Walmart, to the shrine there, and it was covered with like angry messages to Trump. They didn't cover that on the news. It had a bunch of messages saying, you know, either they were either angry or they were pleading with Trump, you know, trying to believe like, no, this guy's on our side, you know, like, please do something. And it was really hardcore visit. So this one is about a future best-selling book, The Diary of Ana Franco, and it's a riff on Anne Frank. It's like what on her time during Trump's war on Latinos. Like, what if we had a book about a kid hiding, you know, from ICE and everyone. And Abelardo, are you still there?
I'm still here, yeah. Just had to reach over and turn on the light.
Now you went to scratch your nose.
Yeah, scratch something, yes.
And this one is one of my favorites. Was a cartoon of a kid, a little brown kid inside an ice cage, which has become a little icon in my work. And she's just holding up a piece of paper that says, "Please vote." Like, you know, don't give me the lesser of two evils thing is turns you off, because, you know, Trump is going to cage more and more kids if, you know, we let him, you know, have 4 more years. So this one is about El Paso, and it's, you know, Trump's Sharpie, and where he fixes things that don't line up with his, you know, statements. And it is a brown family again, and they are targeted with a crosshatch thing. And this is definitely specifically about El Paso, but also about his language targeting brown people. Greta Regretta, this is one of my favorites. This is Greta Thunberg, the environmentalist activist girl, and then Regretta, which is our version. Greta has, you know, the blue planet Earth on her shirt. Regretta has a burning, you know, climate change planet Earth on its shirt. I don't know what it is. And then this one is the from the Monopoly game. It's the go to jail card, but it is the go directly to impeach card. Do not pass go. Do not collect 2020. It's got Nancy Pelosi there.
Those were hopeful days back then.
Yeah. Well, he still got impeached, so not removed though, sadly. And here is this one is a Ukraine cartoon with the president of Ukraine inside the mouth of a Russian bear, and Trump is a forest, you know, ranger, whatever, park ranger, and he says, "I can give you this bear repellent, but first I need some dirt on Joe Biden." And he's inside the big bear. This one is like in the style of the 1950s. Herb Block, I mentioned the cartoonist from the Washington Post, and this is kind of my homage to him. Drew it in charcoal and black and white on my iPad, very modern. But I wanted to do as an homage to that. Impeachment inquiry, smoking guns, obviously.
Yeah.
And I've been doing a lot of cartoons with black, white, gray, and red as to kind of make them go faster, so I don't like super have to color them. Here's another black and white sort of minimal tone one, the evolution of anti-Latino hate. We know Prop 187 anniversary came up 25 years, right, this year?
Right. And you
so,
did the poster for the campaign.
Oh yeah, that's right. So here's a cartoon with the beginning of it with Pete Wilson, who I call Pito Wilsonus.
Yeah.
And this is a trope that cartoonists use. It's the evolution chart. There's a lot of cartoons done using this imagery. It's very famous. So I have him. I have Joe Arpaio from Arizona, and then I have Trump as the Trumpanzee.
Trumpanzee.
Yeah.
But I noticed he's not evolving. He's actually, the next guy was supposed to be standing up, but this guy is actually.
Oh, he's going back down for sure. Thank you. That's funny. When I posted this cartoon, people were like, hey, man, they cut off the stuff on the right. And I'm like, no, it's all right. It means he's going and going and going with lots of horrible racist commentary, you know. And then here we have the at the impeachment, we have Trump, you know, who's famously said, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and my supporters will still back me. So here he is on Twitter shooting this Ambassador Yovanovitch, who straight up came up with, you know, damaging testimony about Trump. But he went on Twitter to, you know, if this was a case at LA Municipal Court, I mean, the guy would be arrested for witness tampering. But he's the president, and he can't get arrested for witness tampering, which is what he did. But and then finally, Baby Yoda in a cage, locked up at the border. It's on some planet by ice stormtroopers. So,
oh man,
and,
that is sad.
You know, did we record this? Because this
we are recording it. Yes.
This may be the only time I go through my whole Pulitzer.
Well, thank you. You know, in case you just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros out there in Zoom and Facebook Live land, we're speaking here with Lalo Alcaraz, cartoonist, writer, author, producer, director of multi hats. You'll see him at Christmas fairs everywhere where you could buy his calendars. But today we are celebrating his naming as a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize of 2020 for editorial cartooning. And he just showed us the work that he submitted to the Pulitzer Committee for consideration for the prize. So you saw it here first. You can go to the Pulitzer's website and you can see all of the work by Lalo, but also by the other finalists and also the winner of this year's prize, which next year will go to Lalo Alcaraz. I'm predicting.
Appreciate that.
Let's see. We have a few questions here.
Holy moly, they're backed up like
it's crazy.
They used to be the airplanes backed up to LAX, but not anymore.
You could choose them, or I could choose them. And
let me go. I would like to go down. Let me see. I get this question a lot from Catherine Escobar Jaskulski. Question for Lalo: who would you say that your intended audience is with your political cartoons, and why? For me, I mean, I think of my audience as like for everything that I do, including La Cucaracha, the Daily Strip, and any other chingaderas that I write in Desmadre. I'm not trying to just reach Chicanos. I'm not trying to reach just Latinos. Anybody that can read, that's what I'm trying to reach. I'm not trying to convince, like, you know, right-wing racists that I'm nice and you should be my friend. You know, I think those people are beyond hope. I want our community and I want all our friends and allies and neighbors to just be like, yeah, you know, it's like you don't have to discriminate against brown people. They're not scary. But sometimes brown people have to be reminded of that, you know. For example, the owners of Cielito Lindo, the restaurant in South El Monte, the famous mariachi Jose Hernandez and his wife, who's a kooky Trump, right-wing Trump conspiracy theorist who's anti-immigrant. These people need to be reminded too that, you know, like, come on, like, don't punch down, don't attack your own community, your own people, undocumented immigrants. You know, like I always say, like, you know, it's kind of a riff off what African Americans say. You know, if you shake your family tree hard enough, they say African American will fall out, right? And so I say the same thing about us, except I say, if you shake your family tree hard enough, 10 undocumented people will fall out, you know, because like my mom was undocumented back in the 60s until she wasn't. So, you know, she's not evil. She doesn't have horns. She didn't have a tail. You know, she was like a person that paid her taxes, worked, she got her papers, you know, what's the big deal, you know? And so to be demonized constantly by Trump and, you know, all these idiots and our own community, like people like the Cielito Lindo people, you know, who are against aid for undocumented people, that's wrong. So my audience, anyone with a brain. Okay, next, from Yolanda Guerra, speaking as a Chicano artist and educator, art teacher, can you talk about your experience as a student at school and if there were teachers that supported you and how?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I had, you know, even to this day, I mean, there's a lack of brown and black and Asian and Native teachers in our school systems. Mm-hmm. And we need to have, you know, as many, you know, join the ranks as possible. But back then I had a couple of cool teachers. They make a difference. I had my art teacher was Miss Nichols. She's a white lady back at my high school at Helix High School in San Diego. And she took me under her wing without me knowing like what she was doing, you know, because I always knew I was pretty cocky. Like, I'm the kid that can draw, whatever. She showed me that there was colleges that you could go study art at, you know, and I had no idea. You know, my dad died when I was 13. He's from Zacatecas. My mom went to the 4th grade in Mexico. She, you know, I'm not getting any college advice from my parents, you know, and so Miss Nichols showed me, kind of opened up worlds for me that, you know, like she would give me the catalog to, you know, Otis Parsons Art School, you know, which I eventually ended up teaching at a few years ago. And, but she opened up my mind to all these things. Also, she made me her TA, you know, her teaching assistant, and gave me responsibility with other students and taught me a lot of stuff. So also, I had one cool counselor in high school, Coach Edge. And Coach Edge, his name was Art Edge, which is like the name. It's just too much. And he was African American. He was the PE tennis coach, etc. And he is the one that showed me like, dude, you want to go to college? And I'm like, I don't know. Do I? Because I was getting tracked to graphic design, which was basically printing. You know?
Right. Those were the tracks where the Chicanos, the minorities, print shop, auto shop, wood shop, plastics, homemaking for the women, clerk typists, whatever. Yeah, one actually had to fight. My dad had to go and fight for my sister to get college prep classes. No good. But now, yeah, so like you said, teachers can make a huge difference in a person's track.
Yeah. And Coach Edge showed me, you know, you got to take these classes, which my other counselors did not tell me. And he told me, and I got to thank him years later. I found him online. And I said, hey, dude, you're the one, man. You got me to do that. So let me go to the next one, if that's okay.
If I may, there's a question here that came in earlier. How is this something to celebrate when the award is for Latinx perspective and Mr. Alcaraz is dismissive of the term Latinx?
Oh, it's our friend I found him last night. I met, I forgot his name. His name was.
Well, I think it was a woman, which is being included. Latinx, being inclusive of queer LGBTQIA people. We want to celebrate our own, but let's not be hypocrites.
Okay, so. The person that wrote that description of, you know, Lalo's work celebrates Latinx.
Yeah.
That person does not think that Latinx is the same meaning that this person that wrote the question has. You know, they wrote it as, oh, is that what everyone's calling themselves now? Okay, because I've been in corporate meetings at where I work at, and these like, you know, white executives from New York use that term like a buzzword. You know, to them, they don't know what it means. They don't care. They don't care what it means. They use it as, this is what they're calling, those people are calling themselves, so we're going to use it, and blah blah, you know. And I've had to explain, like, you know, it's cool to use it, it's fine. I don't use it to identify myself. Doesn't make me a bad person because I don't like that term. It doesn't mean I'm again. I mean, you just have to look at my work and see that I'm aligned with all your ideology and all the, you know, positiveness of the movement of trying to be inclusive. But I mean, Latino is not even like my preferred term. I'm Chicano, you know. And so that the award, the Pulitzer Award, is not for being a Latin X anything.
No, it's for being you. It's for
being a cartoonist,
right.
and among other cartoonists, you know. Sorry, I mean, if you think otherwise, it's true. Now, I don't have to call myself Latinx to be a good person and not be homophobic or whatever. I'm not homophobic. I'm not whatever.
All right. Let's go to something a little more whatever. Do you have a suggestion? I think you already gave suggestion advice for a young Latino artist very interested in animation. My 14-year-old son loves drawing cartoons and anime. What would be your recommendation there?
Okay, the advice I always give to all artists, all young people that want to do cartoons, and not specifically animation, but first, let's say somebody comes up and says, I want to be a newspaper cartoonist. First, I tell them, don't do it. It's for crazy people. You know, the job requirement for a newspaper cartoonist is, they told me when I got my comic strip before I got it, they said, do you want to be doing this every day for the next 40 years until you die? And I said, yeah. And that's what is required of cartoonists. Like, this comes out of your blood. Like, you want to do this art form forever, you know. And so for daily newspaper, you know, because you're reporting on life, so you know, you have to do it forever, right? Charles Schultz died the week after his last comic strip ran, right? That's my retirement plan, is die at my drawing table, you know. That's fine. I love it because I'm lucky. I'm blessed that my career is like, it's the best one for me, and I think it's one of the best ones on the planet. Now, what I tell young people too, then, is if you don't want to turn and run after I tell you all this, then you're probably suited to be a cartoonist or an artist. And in animation, you know, it's a lot of repetitive drawing and different, you know, doing a drawing, fixing it 100 times until you get it right. And so, you know, there's right now, I'll tell you, during this pandemic, in Hollywood, animation is the only show in town. Wow. Nothing else is going on. There's no live action stuff there. Sure, they have some shows with like someone sitting at, Jimmy Kimmel's at his house, you know. Right? But other than that, Ellen, yeah. Great, Abelardo is at his house. And you know, for animation right now, there's not only, you know, we're working, we're about to start recording stuff with the voice actors are at their homes recording, which a lot of studios are doing, but also, you know, the demand for shows and for new stuff for your kids, while they're homeschooling, you know, or your little ones are watching shows, there's a huge demand for that. So, and I think that, you know, the industry is recession proof. So advice for anyone that's in the drawing arts is you got to draw every day. You got to like show your work to anyone that cares to look at it. You have to not be sensitive about the work, and you know, you need to get critiqued on it. And if someone tells you, oh, you know, that doesn't look like a bottle, or that doesn't look like an apple, well, you fix it, you know, and then you move on. And because that's the churn of an animated show. You got to crank stuff out, and you can't be sensitive about, you know, your work is so precious, because really in animation you're drawing someone else's vision with a little bit of your own mixed in. But you know, it's you gotta draw la chinga. You gotta put in the work, you know.
All right. Well, you know, we got a couple more minutes, and we're gonna wrap this up. Lalo, just for the people out there, this has been a great pleasure for me. I've known Lalo for a little while, and cartooning, his editorial cartoon is one aspect of his life. He's got things going on with Casa Grandes. He did helped out with the cultural consulting with Coco. I can't tell you how important that is to have people who know our culture in the rooms that are making decisions, especially how they're portraying us. And Lalo, you do it well. You know your stuff, and I appreciate that. Now we're gonna just go ahead.
I try. I'm trying my best. That's all.
Right.
I mean, I grew up not seeing brown people on TV, and I said, you know what? I don't have a TV network, so I'm gonna draw cartoons about myself, my family. I used to draw little cholo cartoons about, you know, my friends and us, like, you know, getting drunk and, you know, being dumb 14-year-olds, you know.
All right.
But real quick, I want to see. I'm looking at these the chat questions. Aurora Luna says, "I'm so proud of you, Lalo. I'm from Zacatecas too." Right on. My dad's from Jes.
I'm getting some on Facebook Live. Rosa Montes Vaca, congrats, Lalo. Keep it coming. We need you now more than ever. We have Bernie G, Carlos Aguilar. I first came across your work via Charlie, whoever Charlie is.
Charlie Erickson. Oh,
right.
The godfather of Latino journalism.
Yeah, of course. And then we have Audrey Chavez Truth, and Zala Musica calls us vendidos.
Yay!
All right. See, even the hate comments.
There's not a show that I'm in where I'm not called a vendido. So Thank you.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna end it. This session of we're calling it En Casa con la Plaza. Pretty snazzy, huh?
Oh yeah.
But we're gonna
not bad.
Not pretty good. We continue tomorrow at 3 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, same time, same Zoom station, with El Puro Political Party, which is a group of people who are getting together to not only get active in politics, but socialize, learn the issues, and make a difference by reaching out to people to register to vote, to go to the polls, and so on. That's on Wednesday. Then finally on Friday at 7 o'clock, Dr. Gloria Arjona, lecturer from Caltech, a great entertainer, a great cultural person. She's going to do a loteria. She's going to teach the history of loteria. And we're actually going to try an online game on Zoom and Facebook Live. And we got a bunch of others on tap for next week. We have Maite Rejon Gomez, who's going to teach us how to make flour tortillas straight out of Sonora. Dan Guerrero giving us some of his history as an entertainer from coast to coast, and the list goes on. But please check in. Sorry we didn't get to all your questions. They were coming in. We appreciate the questions, the comments. We will save them. We will try to get with you. This will be on our Facebook page. We also post these on YouTube at La Plaza LA, and also on our website.
You know what, Abelardo, can tell everyone they can email me their questions or accusations, whatever they want. I love them all at Lalo Alcaraz yahoo.com, or go to pocho.com, send us a message there, whatever. There's nothing I won't answer. So
All right.
all
and,
good.
And last, today
Except
is
comments. You can't catch me for some.
okay. It's Giving Tuesday now. In case you haven't given to any group out there, institutions are in dire need, including Giving Tuesday now is an opportunity for people to donate their funds so that places like La Plaza and others could keep it going once this is over. And we thank you all. Stay safe. Lalo, thanks so much. Muchas gracias. After this, I'm going to go get my drink on too.
Un aplauso for my tocayo Abelardo and for Eli Plaza for holding it down. And thank you everyone for coming. It was super fun. It's an honor to share Cinco with you during this. It's an honor to be with you during this whole pandemic chingadera. I appreciate you guys, all of you.
All right.
Even the haters. Love you.
Especially the haters. Okay, see you, Lalo. Talk to you.